Hey, howdy and hello, folks. Welcome back to TUNA. A little break, but we are back with some of our best ball drafts. This is number 4, about to make it happen. Let's get into it.
All right, like Tony said, we are starting to wrap up our best ball draft tournament. This is 4 of 5. If you haven't been following along, we have done up to 3 best ball drafts right now with the same 12 managers. We've got 5 leagues we're going to go through. We'll rack up a point system, and at the end of the year, we're going to have not only league champions getting paid out, we'll have a grand champion at the end of the year paid out. All T1A funds, all because we love these guys, so we're just trying to put this out there, and so we can create good content to put in front of you guys. So today we've got our basic Superflex league. We are going to be drafting 1 quarterback, 2 running backs, 3 wide receivers, a tight end, a flex, a standard flex, and a super flex. I'm not sure what the bench was. Bench is 10?
Bench is 10. Yep.
Bench is
19 rounds.
Yep. So that's how this Ooh. A little jumpy on the fucks this morning. So that's how this breaks down. That's how this league breaks down. It's been a while since we've done a few of these. We wanted to see if ADP changed a little bit. And so we're probably going to come back in a couple of weeks and do the 5th one. And that'll give us a little bit of content on seeing where some guys are being drafted and then waiting about 3 weeks a month and then seeing where they're drafted again. Just shows the ever-flowing values that are out there for guys.
But yeah, definitely been doing some mocks just to kind of see where players have jumped. You know, we got the D-Hop jump, Dalvin rumor jump. The one that surprised me the most is Keontae Ingram has jumped from like the 19th or like the free rounds near at the end. He's going in like the 16th round now.
Yeah, that's ridiculous.
Yeah, that's a little too much for me.
Yeah, I'm more concerned with trying to keep track because here's what will happen. And maybe, I don't know, maybe it's just me. I don't know. But when I get into doing mock drafts and I'm getting ready for my real leagues, my real redraft leagues in August, I'm doing mock drafts in July. And I'm building bad habits because I'm doing mock drafts on, Yahoo and on Sleeper with the computer because there's no real platform for us to go to, being in states that we can't gamble.
Yep.
We can't go on like platforms like Underdog and do those little $3 drafts and get that, that awesome ADP look and all that.
From active users and everything.
Yeah, so finding a source where you can stay on top of where ADPs are changing and how that year, how you're wanting to build your team is going to work based on where you're drafting in your leagues. Make sure you're keeping up on that because I have a feeling this is all going to change. I haven't actually done one of the mock drafts from the 4 spot in a minute, and I wonder if, I bet it's over a week, and so I wonder if in a week it's changed up and how much it has, if it has. Well, okay. Looks like I am dead set getting Joe Burrow there. Actually, you know what, man? I don't know. I kind of like the value of the guys you can get around that 3-4 turn at the quarterback.
Yeah.
Unless there's a just stud sitting there at 2.9 or 3.4. But I don't think I would mind.
Well, you're going to be early 3, late 4, so that'll be a difference for you.
Yeah, I mean, this one's going to be kind of fun. I've had an idea. Like I said, it's going to suck because I haven't done a mock in about a week from the 4 spot, so I'm probably going to be a little bit off on where my values are going to be. I might be like a round or 2 off. That's all right, though. It's best ball.
Let's roll this.
All right, we're off. Mr. Always Right with the first pick here. I can't imagine
There we go.
He could go Hurts.
I would be shocked by that. Here is your first choice. Wow, nice.
And
that would be a hard choice between. I'm sticking with my plan as well.
Yeah, I think it's just I can get one other quarterbacks later. We have to start through wide receivers with a flex spot. I'll take the positional advantages here if I can get. And I think the second round still has good quarterbacks in it.
Yeah,
that's probably where I'm going to get a quarterback. I'm probably going to grab a quarterback there. Burrow's calf freaks me out now because my projection on him is relying on 300, 400 yards passing. That doesn't seem like it's going to be there.
I don't think it's that big of a deal.
No, dude, it's a calf strain. I'm not saying it's a big deal, but it's going to keep him out of OTAs. And if you've ever pulled a muscle or and I'm not talking like had a cramp or a Charlie horse. I'm talking about pulled a muscle. That affects you for quite a while. You have to take time to heal on it. And with a calf strain, he's just not gonna. I don't think he's gonna have it in him to be like, I'll just take off. I think that's gonna like
Limit his
hamper. Like,
rushing.
yeah, he's just gonna be like, no, I'm not gonna. I don't need to take off. I'm not gonna. And those little 4 or 5 yard runs where he would just slide and whatever. Okay, now it's 2nd and 5. Let's go try it again. Is now a fucking zip out to a running back that's kind of a shit pass that doesn't turn into a completion because he's just really trying to get rid of it safely, or he just buries that bitch on the sidelines. That's what I would do. I'm that kind of guy. Nope, I'm not getting hit today.
I like that turn by Space Aids, though, getting CMC in Fields.
Yeah, that's ridiculous value right there. And a well played pick getting Fields on your turnaround there because he ain't coming back to you, I don't think. I really want to do well on this draft. I really do.
Make up for some of the others.
Yeah, I feel like I've shit the bed on pretty much most of them.
Yeah.
Yeah, kind of do.
The Scooter's just getting some stuff dropped to him here. Got Burrow dropped to him on the way. Barkley on the way back. Nice.
Oh, Scooter. Yeah, Barkley, Burrow. That's a damn good start.
Got a couple nice stacks going through. Yeah, I
Lamar,
think these first 3 you're getting double quarterback because the value of what's coming to you in the late second is not as great, and then third you can really get turned back and start get your positional stuff.
Picking running backs right now is scary with everything that's going on.
Yeah,
like I feel like they're just gonna revolt. Just be like, no, we're not gonna play. None of us.
All of them, yeah. The only one that's like kind of safe is Bijan. He's the highest paid running back right now.
Yeah, and even then, he's just gonna be like, oh, shit. Is this really how I want to start my reputation in this damn league? Telling these guys to go fuck off?
Now do you go quarterback? Down to 5.
Okay, so far I really like this fucking. But that's just so far.
Yeah.
Ooh. See, you've had that start before when we've done some mocks together.
Yes.
And you had that
Yes.
start before. Okay.
Yeah, it's getting that 4th early wide receiver that just completely screws you up.
Yeah. So I'm interested to see. I am just tripping over my tongue today.
Yeah, we haven't wagged these tongues in a while.
I wag the tongue every goddamn day at work. Jesus. I mean, that's just good value.
I don't know the hawk on the turn though.
I mean, he's got to reach. He's got to reach. So
I personally would have gone wide receiver with that pick and waited on my tight end. DK.
I mean, right, okay, but DK, as great as DK is, he now just has even more competition for targets with Charbonnet and JSN coming in, and he's been a wide receiver too, right? I mean, he's an exciting wide receiver, but that's not a bad move from a 12 spot. Just go to the next tier of players.
No, it's not.
And Hawk could be fucking elite this year too.
Good. Yeah, he's definitely the third tight end off the board for me. Get my stack there.
Sorry, I'm looking ahead to see what I'm going to do here really quick.
Oh, yeah, you're good.
But I'll see what you got going on there. Because I don't like to queue players. It just confuses the hell out of me later on.
Yeah, I don't queue up until after like 15. I start seeing the players I want. But I've done so many mocks, I know which players kind of where I want them to be.
I don't really want to do this, but I think I have to.
Dropping the dimes?
No. I mean, I would, but
you're going to get them on the turn.
Yeah, that's where I was going with it. So I don't have to. Only one quarterback's going to come off.
Yeah.
I can lock that in.
Probably Geno right here.
Has been a trend.
Oh, some news dropping. Zeke visiting the Patriots.
No. God damn. Just everybody stay the fuck away from New England if you're a running back. I really want a good year out of Ramondre this year.
Talk to me a little bit about your Kittle pick here.
He's a top end tight end, and it's the value where it's at. I would like to get the way it's falling right now. I would generally get my quarterback by now at the 4th right there, but I didn't have to.
Yeah.
I'm not punting running back, but there's so many good running backs. I could just go back to back in my turns, and I'm gonna have 2 good starting running backs, especially for best ball.
Yeah.
So I want a top end tight end. I've got 2 top wide receivers, probably a top 12 quarterback, if not more, if he stays healthy. And now I have a
there he is right there.
Tight end. Who? Danny Dimes?
Yeah. Well, if you wanted him, that he came back around the corner.
Yeah, and see, And then see, now here's another situation where I'm just like, how hard are the quarterbacks going to come off? I know you're probably going to grab Carr. So he goes away. And it's like, yeah, I should probably take a quarterback here. And I'll take the rushing upside, right? Because if we haven't mentioned, it is 4 point per passing touchdown. So, a little bit of leg is good. And then anything extra that Daniel Jones is going to put together this year, we're both we're both kicking running backs right now. But
yeah,
there's a lot of running backs right now I'm comfortable with.
Yeah.
A lot.
Well, and it's best ball. You don't have to worry about actually starting them. They're just going to pop in when they score. So
yeah, so you could go ahead and the guys who are wishy-washy.
Well, even throwing in a few more like handcuff backs, like I don't worry about it as much, especially with the solid start we have for like our wide receiving core. Feel a lot more comfortable.
A couple of auto picks here.
Yeah, I auto picked on A-Rich because they couldn't decide, which is fine. I'm okay with that.
Yeah, I think then when we talked about it, it was best to take that quarterback. 4 or 5 needs to be quarterback if you have a 3 wide receiver start like that. And then, oh man, it's looking pretty. Unless there is not going to be much of a running back run before it gets to you.
No.
Okay, we're actually going to get pretty decent picks at this first running back here. Let's see what happens. Fuck you, Talon. Kind of expected that though.
Yep.
Oh no, you didn't put enough wide receivers. Listen, if you have to auto draft a best ball league, front end load your queue with wide receivers. Yes. Plus, you start with 4 running backs.
and a
tight end.
And a tight end, yeah.
Sorry, Ron.
He got moneyed.
Who's money's actually having like a redemption draft too. That's a good team so far.
Yeah.
Cam.
Just volume. I mean, process of elimination. There's not much there else that's going to compete with them.
I'm going to catch flack.
Get some volume.
I'm going to catch flack for this. Fuck it. I think he has a huge year. All right.
So I have my my little segments. He is my second player. The first one's going to be on Kamara.
Mm-hmm.
Second one's going to be on DJ Moore. Kind of looking at just their situation, the expectation, where their value's at now, and what the expected outcome for those players are. I think DJ Moore is going to be no less than a wide receiver 2.
Well, he never has been.
Never will be.
He's a fucking stud. He's always been a stud. It's just in Carolina, he wasn't viewed, I think, as that dude.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And so he wasn't getting just targets to just get a target, right? Like, I'm getting it's 3rd and 5. You're throwing me the goddamn ball. And they all know it. And I think
this year somehow gets enough open to get the ball.
Yeah, and I think this year Justin Fields takes a step forward. Like, you could see it happening last year, and when the game slows down enough for a guy that he can navigate himself running the ball and do as well as Fields did, that means he's starting to see the field a little bit better. The next step is in progression, just like everybody's bringing up the Jalen Hurts thing. The next step in progression is that he figures out how to throw the ball. I'm okay with this.
Nice.
I love the news of DeAndre Swift being moved all around the field, and I get the feel, right? It's a copycat league. And you saw what the 49ers did with McCaffrey last year, where they would bring him out. You'd have, Elijah Mitchell and McCaffrey, and McCaffrey gets to go, motion out, and now he's got a linebacker covering him. I could see Philly being smart like that and utilizing Swift in that manner. 70 catches.
Yeah, full PPR, I'm a little more into Swift than anywhere like half PPR.
Even in half PPR, I'm not that worried about it because he's behind. I mean, what if we'll say what if, because if we don't want to project injuries, but what if Penny goes down, right? What if Penny goes down?
When he goes down for
What else is there, right? Now you're instantly back, and it's already going to be a running back by committee. But now you've just taken the guy who's getting all the headway work, all the in between the tackles, probably the goal line work. Not really, though, because they didn't really hand the ball to the fucking running backs at the goal line. But yeah, I think just how good that team is, how explosive that team is, putting another guy like Swift on there, especially in best ball. I'll take the 4 or 5 games that Swift puts up 30 fucking points. You grabbed another running back, though, too, didn't you?
Yeah, I grabbed Cook.
I like that. He's another guy that I'm interested to see. Like, I bet you in the other drafts he wasn't going this high.
No, he was going at like the 9-10.
Yeah, that sounds about right.
I don't know that I could still go this high on Pittman and Kirk. I think they're just 2 players that I'm just so leery on.
Yeah,
not that I'm saying that Pickens and Mike Williams are better, but I'm just so leery because of their situations. Kirk getting Ridley as competition and Pittman's quarterback situation.
Okay. But if you're worried about Pittman's production as a wide receiver, being the wide receiver one for Indianapolis, then how can you be so high on A-Rich?
Because he runs.
Just because of the running.
Just because they're running.
Yeah. I mean, if Pittman has a disappointing season of like 6,805, that still isn't going to destroy, that wouldn't destroy Rich's upside because of his legs. But man, you really got to hope that he like is using those legs. And I mean, I don't even know where he would have to be in rushing yards just alone. And he'd need touchdowns along with it to get himself in like that QB2, high end QB2.
Usually anything over 400. So if he can get up to 700 yards rushing, he should be fine. Oh, I just timed out for Connor.
Oh, thanks, guys.
See, you had me thinking, bastard.
I didn't know it was your pick.
Over here thinking about stuff and, didn't pay attention. My turn to auto draft.
It's getting around there, though, too. Like, even if maybe...
It looks like Eli's cleaning up pretty good over there.
I mean, I don't know. It's like a solid team.
Yeah.
Right? But it's not like you look at it and you're like, holy shit.
Face up on a weekly basis, you're like, gosh, yeah. Like, I got to go against all of that?
Fuck yes. I don't think punt and running back could have went fucking any better for me. You're on the clock.
Yep.
Okay. Just wanted to look it out for you, bud.
I'm on it now. I'm awake.
I've seen a lot of running backs go in this area, and it's kind of like a good value area for running backs.
Yeah.
I mean, Connor, Madison, Pacheco, Kamara, Child White, David Montgomery, James Cook, Charbonnet, all coming off in droves right there.
Yep. Well, and what's nice too, sitting now with, what is it, 3 and 4? Yep.
Yeah.
So 3 solid wide receivers, 4 rotational running backs. And I'm now in a position where it's just whatever's good. I don't have to go for tight end yet. I can stream a couple later ones.
Yeah, you're a little.
I got
pumped on
2.
tight end.
Yeah, I've got 2 good quarterbacks with some upside. Rodgers stacked with Wilson. A-Rich banking on he has some good weeks. Probably grab another quarterback here in a little while, but nothing that's pressing where like, man, positionally I have to grab something here.
Other than the auto drafter, everybody's got pretty well rounded out rosters right now.
Yeah.
These are the money rounds right now, right? Because now you're going for upside.
Yep. I think that's probably a little high on Burks now. Probably one that's fallen the most. He was going in 7-8.
I still think he's gonna have a decent year, just not that not that nuclear year we thought he was potentially gonna have.
There's still room for development.
Who was the guy? There was a dude I was thinking about that everybody was like, "Oh, he's gonna just take off this year. It's his year." Oh, it was the same situation in Tennessee. It was when AJ Brown was finally like gonna be on his own.
Yeah.
And then they signed Julio. Treylon Burks to the moon. Hop.
Hop.
I still think the highest upside in that offense is Bateman.
As far as a wide receiver?
Yeah. I mean, of course, Lamar is the one. Well, okay. No, upside. Like, we all know what Lamar's ceiling already is. Right?
Andrews.
We don't know. And we've seen what Andrews can do. And, like, we don't really know what to expect from Odell. I don't think he has a shit ton of upside. If you're drafting him an 800-yard season on how many catches, I don't fucking know. And especially because we don't know how the offense is going to look. We don't know what they're going to do down in the red zone. So I don't know if he's going to have a lot of touchdowns. What I do know is that, well, I should say also about Zay. We don't really know with Zay either. He's a rookie wide receiver coming into a new offense. For him to get on the field, it's probably going to be 3 wide receiver sets. We don't know if they're going to run a whole lot of 3 wide receiver sets. We project they will. I think they're going to. My basis of thinking Bateman has the highest upside where you're drafting him and what you're going to get in return, I think has the most potential and actual upside to get where he has a wide receiver 1 finish potential this year. Lamar and him clicked last year when they were playing together.
Yep.
And yes, health was a big question, but we're not going to project injuries.
Yep. That's the hard thing.
It's kind of baked into his ADP though too, because you're not having to pay a premium to get him. Son of a bitch! And I just saw him go off. The next guy on my queue. Of course, we're talking about him and fucking blah, blah, blah. But yeah, I think he does have the best opportunity to be a guy that like your ROI on him is fucking insane. And yeah, even though there's no need for like a positional grab, like I don't need a running back or I don't need a quarterback, I'm still also keeping in mind that it is a start 3 wide receiver league.
Yeah.
And so yeah, keeping Keeping wide receivers coming. Of course, you were the prick that took Jameson Williams. Should have known. Like, I'm probably looking at what my needs are to round this roster out. I think you and I are kind of in the same boat.
Yeah.
Nice Kincaid pick.
Yeah, I finally got him. I'm not going to get sniped this time.
We need, we need our third quarterback, our second tight end. For me, probably a second tight end. Potentially, you may need 2 more.
Yeah, I'm going to grab 2 more.
Yeah, and then maybe another running back to round out the running back room. But other than that, we should be pretty heavy wide receiver these last 7 rounds.
Right. When everybody's grabbing other positions, we'll be just scraping together some fun wide receivers.
Yeah, some good guys to talk about. Yeah, I like Kincaid this year because I feel like he's going to step in. Everybody is saying, rookie tight ends don't blah, blah, blah. And a lot of that's fucking inline shit. Like, Kyle Pitts came in as a rookie, put up 1,000 yards because he didn't play in line a ton.
Yep.
Kincaid isn't going to play in line. I think what he's going to be, and I think you're going to love when I say this, he's going to be a big ass, huge fucking Cole Beasley. Right? What I'm fucking saying. He's like 4 times the size of Cole Beasley, and he can run those little routes Cole Beasley ran. And think about how much Josh Allen peppered the crap out of Beasley. And now you're talking about a big ass athletic dude that, like, go ahead and put a safety on that guy.
And he can find zones. Like, he can eat up pretty good. And he's still growing.
Yeah, I think he's going to have
not physically and mentally, but just like as a player.
Yeah, I think he could potentially have a really good rookie year as a tight end.
Kmet, who just got paid.
Like Kmet this year, was he tight end 9 last year? Again, and then Justin Fields is just like, he's on that trajectory of like, and it's the best comparison because it happened last year with Jalen Hurts. I'm not projecting that he goes Jalen Hurts, I'm going to be finished quarterback 3. But any progression in the passing game, it's just going to add on. You have to assume that he's going to negatively regress in rushing.
Yeah, he's no way he's putting up another 1,000 plus.
Yeah, I mean, it just, as far as history goes, like, you can't project that he's going to do it again. So, you got to tail that back. And even if it's 800, but he ends up throwing for more like closer to 4,000, he's saying he's going to throw for 4,000 this year. If he does that and runs for 800 plus whatever touchdowns come with that, dude could be a steal where he's going in drafts right now. Yeah. Along with everybody that you can pair with him. Oh,
getting the Joker.
You may not have had any needs, but you went strategery.
Well, I like the reports that he's going to be in Peyton's Joker role. It means he's going to have some manufactured touches each game.
Wow, I can't believe this guy made it all the way back around. This is actually a really tough pick. Jamal Williams, Damian Harris.
Ooh.
I think you got to go Damian Harris because Williams has Kendra Miller. He's got Kamara coming back. Damian Harris.
More competition. James Cook just doesn't scare me.
Yeah, they just have not signed anybody. That freaks me out. I'm going Damian Harris.
There you go.
Okay, I'm done with running backs though. I can't do running backs anymore. I gotta get more wide receivers. I think I know what I'll be doing here.
This is a question that I have for you. So we see Ritter coming off the board.
Yeah.
And Trey Lance is still on the top of the block here.
Yeah, and Purdy's off. A lot of people are okay. I will say that the more and more reports come out, the less fully confident I am that Trey Lance gets the start for the season, just purely because Brock Purdy they're not rushing him back. I'm still not at 50-50. I still think Trey Lance becomes a starter, right? And they're going to give him a few weeks to see what he can do. And that's assuming that in preseason it doesn't just shit the bed, but
you're up.
I'm banking that the kid is competitive enough that he's going to go after this. I'm doing this. I think this is a sneaky pick. Oh, where's he lining up, though, in ADP? Oh, we got a whack. Oh, okay, perfect. Yeah. I'll take that. It's kind of tough. I mean, they've got him under contract. This would be his year 3, and so they don't even have to worry about 5th-year option shit until next year. And they could just see what happens, develop him, just be okay having the depth at quarterback, right? Like, look what happened last year. Our quarterback room getting hurt stopped the 49ers winning a Super Bowl.
Yeah.
And so now you've got a quarterback room with Brock Purdy, who is presumably the leader, a number 3 overall pick, and Trey Lance that you're developing still, and number 1 overall pick, right? Didn't Darnold go number 1 overall? I could be wrong. I don't think he did.
I don't
but
think he
was
was
a,
number one. I think he was like top 3 or 4.
yeah, he was a high-end fucking draft pick. And so now you're 3 deep at quarterback. And so that's a luxury that's good to have. I mean, they showed that last year with Garoppolo when they couldn't get fair value in a trade. They just re-signed him, restructured his shit, and kept him on the team.
Yep.
So anything could happen there. I still think, though, that if Trey Lance in that offense, with all of the weapons he has around him and all the athletic talent he is the quarterback that puts up the most points versus Purdy. So fantasy-wise, that's how I'm looking at it.
Starting to see the handcuff running backs come off here. I like Mitchell this year. Of course, I liked him last year before he got hurt too, but Elijah Mitchell, I think he still has a role in the Niners offense.
Yeah, he definitely has a role, and his running style fits perfectly with the offensive scheme.
Yeah, and coordinates well with what they're going to do with CMC.
Yeah, because they don't need him to block or anything like that. He just needs to come out and have that threat that we could just turn around and hand the ball to this guy. So if you only want to leave 5 in the box because you're going out there to get Christian doubled up, good fucking luck. Man, there's not a lot to pick from here, but you know what? I like this guy. And a good offense, got to be the wide receiver too.
Yeah.
He's the guy who got picked.
I'm coming up a little bit higher on Gallup than I have been.
Cooks being there still kind of scares me because, I mean, he's a 1,000-yard wide receiver. He's a veteran. He's proven. Is he competition for Gallup is the big question.
Yeah.
But I still think Gallup gets enough run. They paid him. They want him there. They live him. And 2 years removed from that ACL, I think, right? Last year was his comeback year on it. Yeah.
Last year was his comeback year. He came back a little early, and it showed. Dante Foreman, I just don't know what they expect from him in Chicago. But my expectations are high.
I think you're going to see a lot of the same shit that he did in Carolina, which was just, the same thing Brian Robinson does for the Redskins. He carries the ball 15 to 20 times a game and averages almost 4 yards a carry and just beats up on the fucking defense. And then you got Khalil and Roshan. They're both pretty athletic guys that, they're going to be the change of pace dudes. And I think they have a pretty decent running back room. Just hard to decipher for fantasy. So Khalil's the guy I would want in that.
So who was it you were waiting to see if he came back?
Well, of the 3 quarterbacks, I was like, I don't know which one. But, I mean, I really honestly, because I know he's the fucking starter, I got to take Tannehill. I've kind of backed off on getting Lance or Purdy in either of these because it just seems sketchy. Got to keep in mind, too, like the 49ers, I couldn't tell you who they replaced on the line, but I'm pretty sure they lost 2 guys on the offensive line this year that was not the best offensive line last year as far as pass protection goes. So, like, there's still opportunity for a quarterback to get his ass smashed.
In Tennessee?
No, in San Fran.
Oh.
Right? There's always questions there, too. The running scheme alone, I mean, we're 3 deep on guys that can run that running scheme, but pass protection in the NFL is huge, and we don't have the best guys.
Nice.
It's good.
That's a phenomenal pick. Nice work.
It's good.
Yeah, Ertz already on PUP.
Yeah, I mean, we knew that was going to happen. He ain't coming back from that late-ass ACL. He'll be there for a little bit. I bet he doesn't even become a main factor until, like, week 10, and even then, he just might fucking retire.
Yeah.
Team's going to be dog shit. Bastard me? Tried to send me down the left fork. I was going to the right. I like that pick. Had him queued. You prick.
Well, that's what you get for picking my guy. You prick.
Couple of pricks.
Yeah. Well, we're both been pretty high on Marshall, especially this late. Like, he just has a chance to emerge and be something more than he has been.
Yeah, there's nothing else there.
And with nobody else going to New England, I think Devontae Parker in best ball this late has a good, couple weeks.
The contract, too. Like, you got to like the contract he signs. It means they trust in him. They want him to be there.
Yep. And best ball, you don't have to hope on the games. They will just come when they come.
That's still a tough offense to be a part of the passing game.
Yep.
It's really tough. Though I do expect
I don't think Bill O'Brien to really come in and just fix it.
He might not fix it, but he'll have a better offensive mind and game plan on it.
Yeah.
I mean, wasn't it Matt Patricia was the fucking offensive? He's a defensive coordinator.
Yeah. Now, what I would do here is I'd go for the blitz. So what we're going to try to do, that's like back in
the old school Madden, and you could hire your coaches, and it didn't fucking matter. But they had like these added ratings to your players.
Oh yeah.
And so, you could hire your head coach, and he'd have attribute help for your offensive line, right?
Yeah.
Well, I would always get on there and like have really, really young defenses and be like, well, fuck this. I don't want to play crappy defense for the whole season. And so I would go in and I'll hire all high end defensive coaches that have like added attributes for the defense.
Yeah.
and I would be like hiring big defensive coordinator guys as my offensive coordinators. You're like, whatever, I run the offense, but it's really hard to have like I want my corners to cover well on their own.
Or get extra boost for your D lineman or whatever.
Yeah, yeah. Need my D lineman to get a 2-point speed burst, so I'm gonna hire this guy as my offensive coordinator because I don't give a fuck.
Yeah.
Hunt this late. I'm surprised nobody's talking about Kareem Hunt. He should end up somewhere.
I'm surprised he's just nowhere.
Yeah, you don't even hear him taking visits, doing nothing.
All right, because there's no way I can snipe you here. How you planning your last 2 picks here?
A little bit of it is what I already have in the team. I like Tim Patrick, Chase Claypool, but I already have DJ Moore, Cortland Sutton. I'm full on running back, or Keontae Ingram is interesting, especially this late. But I'm just going to go upside here with these last picks
Nice.
and just kind of see like these guys are going to be, they're in high powered offenses. I'm hoping Josh Palmer comes around. And I say that because I think the guys ahead of Tillman have shown to be unproductive and or injury prone.
And
So
just unpredictable. You really can't expect anything.
Right, but I don't think he plays above them to
No.
get in. I think he'll need to get some injuries or some shit to happen for him to get a shot, which it has a high likelihood with what we got around him.
And he's coming off his own injury, so he's still recouping stuff.
Yeah, and then with Palmer, it's the same fucking thing. Like Mike Williams always misses a couple of games. Keenan Allen always misses a couple fucking games, and he's tied to a badass quarterback and a badass offense. So that's probably where I'm going right here. If Amp doesn't snipe me, but I don't think he will.
I was going to go Evan Hull, kind of like what he has to offer, but I think I am going to go Gainwell here. He had a pretty good stretch in the postseason, brought him back. I think they re-signed him, didn't they? Or is he still on his rookie?
Still on his rookie deal. Yeah, hard to argue that pick there. I mean, there's other guys you could have gone with, I guess. But
Yeah,
I was looking at like
all these dart throws, yeah.
coming out of
Well,
there.
if they're bringing Cook in, Izzy just falls off the board. I mean,
You already got McBride, so Chandler doesn't really make any sense. Pierre Strong, man, there's way too much talk about what's going on with New England. You know, Zeke's been hooked there, Cook's been hooked there. Carter, same shit. Hey, you could have went Keontae Ingram. There's another one.
yeah.
Oh, US.
I've got him a few other places, so
Yeah.
I think in another draft or two, I've got a couple options of him. So
One thing I will say about this team is there's a lot of guys here I don't have a shit ton of shares in. I should say that. The running backs, I have shares in Montgomery, Herbert, and Madison.
so a good old Ron there just got a glimpse at his team, and he said that sucked balls.
Ha!
That's auto draft. All right, come on, last pick. All right, Zach Evans, the final pick.
I like that pick.
I do too. Choice.
Okay, let's stretch this out before we do this because assholes like we break down each team. Holy shit!
Oh, there we go.
Oh, is Eli the first one?
Eli is the first one.
Next.
Go left to right.
Next.
All right, Eli drafted. So Harper.
All right, let's start at the top with Eli here. The back-to-back QBs, I like that. Prescott Andrews at the 2-3 turn.
Now, you took Tua after Dak.
Yeah.
I would rather have Tua over Dak.
I
would rather have Cousins over Dak. That's just where I'm sitting now. Like, I made some moves early in the season and got Dak, and I'm regretting it now.
I think in that spot where you're at, right, and considering where ADP is, I feel like they're all really actually close, right? So I wouldn't want to pay the premium for Prescott and have to get him there. Keeping in mind too that he's at the turn, so he's kind of got to like I have to lock in my quarterback right now. Is that too early at the 212 to take Tua? You know, is Cousins going to be there again? It's a long time before he has to pick again. You know what I mean? So like, probably just locked in the perennial QB one, like a guy that is always
the way that I see this, or the way that I feel that I would have chose. Okay, I got Mahomes. I've got Andrews. I grab Chubb because now you've locked in potentially like top 1 to 2 in their position. in 3 spots, I think that does me better. And then look at round 4. I mean,
Right, but like I'm saying,
it's everybody's choice. That's what we're
and
on, so.
by the time it gets back to him, right? Look at all the quarterbacks that came off.
Yep.
So all those guys were gone, and his next choices of quarterbacks are in the Geno, Danny Dimes, A. Rich, Goff, Wilson range, and so I understand going the 2 QBs right there and probably taking the value in Prescott, of ADP wise versus where Tua was. That's really the call there, right? You got to reach a little bit.
Well, then it comes back and it hurts him a little bit in his wide receiver core because he's now his wide receiver one's Godwin, Ayuk, Dotson, glimpsing over Mixon and Aaron Jones. I actually like those picks. I think those are going to be solid running back choices with his third being Kamara.
I like them too, but here's the thing. They're not guys that are like consistently putting up an average of 18 points per game in fantasy, right? Like they're spiking, and that's what gets them into the RB1 talk is because they spike weeks, right? I'm not saying they're bad picks either because they are also very much
have weeks where they score 2 touchdowns, 3 touchdowns.
They're also very much used in their passing games, which is where I think a lot of Mixon's value is still this year. And of course, Aaron Jones is going to be playing like the wide receiver 2 for that team yet again. So I like the PPR values there. It did kind of hurt some of the value or the return he's going to get back in wide receivers might hurt him a little bit. But I think going the 2 quarterbacks, you're kind of your hand's kind of forced when you're picking one. You got to get your 2 quarterbacks, probably your first 3 picks, because you're not getting that fucker when you come back around in your 4th pick.
Right.
So
which we've seen because we've had, the 1-2, 1-3, 1-4 in a couple drafts now. And, know that pain of if I don't get some quarterbacks, I am just boned.
Yeah, you get down to the 4th round and all those guys came off, and it's like, well, if I don't take one now, I'm just into the next tier, and you're in like Stafford range, and that's risque. So I understand why I did it, but do I agree with Tua over Dak? Shit, yeah. I mean, you're already at the turn, so you might as well reach and go to the tier you need where you get your guy. Yeah. I would have took Tua over Dak there. I don't mind the Andrews pick that early, of course.
Not at all. Yeah.
But I think
eventually you're done, so you can really just focus on other things.
Yeah,
he just filled out his roster at the next picks. So
yeah, we had talked about, it's not one that you look at and you're like, holy shit, there's the team of the league, but it is one that looks like week in, week out. Like if we got a league median, we got a league median, they're going to be hovering around it and fighting with everybody, week to week.
Yeah,
good squad. Another good one, Eli from the one.
Some of his dart throws. So Kamara Beyond is actually just his bench. Tony already dealing with some knee stuff. Jamal Williams could be a goal line back. Same with Roshan. So some good dart throws. Nothing really like, oh my gosh, outstanding.
I think overall, Tony sure dealing with knee stuff right now, but it's best ball. So even if he's not ready to rock and roll, there's been good reports about Peoples-Jones coming out. But again, you worry about his health and his, efficiency and continual production. The tight ends going with Laporta and Hurst. Well, you already have Andrews. I wouldn't generally take 3 tight ends.
I would. I've taken 3, but yeah.
If I have a top end tight end already, I like to put the Jamal Williams with Kamara because if anything does happen with Kamara, Jamal Williams is going to be there. And if there's those games where they're just pounding the rock and Kamara's not getting as much run, then who's going to be getting it. It's Jamal Williams. So that could be a big deal there. We talked a little bit about Roshan. He's in a major RB by committee with Foreman and Herbert there. But overall, I think like for a best ball team, a good solid front run, like he's going to get his starting roster is going to be competitive every week.
Yeah.
And he's got decent enough guys in the back end there that Andrews could fuck this team up though.
Yeah, he's pretty top heavy.
Yeah, Andrews could fuck that team up.
All right. Harperville going with the old classic Seahawks helmet there, the throwback. It's the only part I like about that uniform is that helmet.
No comment. So Josh Allen, of course, can't go wrong with that. The 1-2, Amon-Ra, like everybody is so high on him, and I just can't get on board yet. And he's done nothing. He's done nothing.
Nothing bad enough to be like, why? Why are you picking him?
Yeah,
I understand it, but
I still can't do it. I can't do it. The Chubb Jacobs thing, we're both pretty high on Chubb. I like getting Chubb in the 3rd round there. Jacobs, he hasn't even signed back yet with him, but I get like there's the value.
Not even in
Vegas
the 4th.
Yeah, it's like really hard for me to get on board with him. If there's somebody that is a threat of fucking sitting, it's that guy right there.
Yeah.
And then of course he's Harper's always grabbing Gino, but I can't hate on it. Like all he did was get more fucking weapons around him,
Yeah.
and he is in a quarterback friendly system in Pete Carroll's offense. So there's all the potential that he does what he did last year. Stack that with Jackson.
His JSN is okay, but I actually like that he picked Evans, D Johnson, Bateman. I think that really rounded out his wide receiving core really well.
Yeah, well, he kind of had to because you don't know if JSN is the third wide receiver there, the second wide receiver there. You don't know the amount of volume he's going to get.
But it is nice to be able to stack with his quarterback.
Yeah, which, man, that's a high-ass price to pay for him. The fact that JSN is going to go above guys like Mike Evans, Deontay Johnson.
And I would have rather had one of the guys from the turn, either Ayuk or Godwin, and seen if JSN would have fallen to me. It would have been my choice if I were there, but...
Yeah, I probably would have took Ayuk there.
Yeah.
Probably. And then as far as dart throws, like we talked about, his wide receiver room is where his bench is mostly at, which is a good setup.
Taking the Shaheed.
Yeah. And then, I mean, I like Darren. We didn't talk about Darren Waller on his team. We talked about a little bit with Danny Dimes there, but I think Waller could have a hell of a year.
Yeah.
I know people are like, don't try to think of what Waller was 3 years ago, but he did good to back it up, right?
Well,
adding Knox, adding Fant.
Could be the most solid receiving option on the team.
Outside of Barkley, I would agree with that.
With the wide receivers, it could be very much like last year. Like this one has a good game, that one does. That one does. Where Bellinger and Saquon had good games, the solid targets each week. So
personally, knowing Harper, he would probably say that he doesn't like this team. I just think like he's probably like, fuck, I didn't really want to do this. I don't like my running backs.
I gotta say, like picking in the side of the board that he's in, it's tough. Eli drafts well, Imp drafts well, you, Scooter, and myself, like that's a tough side of the board to draft in.
Yeah, got to add up a little bit there, maybe potentially. I still think it's a good team. Like,
yeah,
still not. We still have yet to run into one where like that's the outlier team. But I would take I'd take that team into fighting every week.
Yeah. All right. Little Impy. Starting off solid. Two good quarterbacks there. Hurts and Deshaun.
And 4 point, that is an awesome start.
Yeah.
Because you've got guys that are they got the legs to score touchdowns and they're gonna get rushing yards. I think that's an awesome start for 4 point.
Yep. Then he goes into 4 wide receivers. And like we've said, starting off with 4 wide receivers, it hurts. Because then positionally you have to hope that, guys like Pacheco and Rachaad White could carry your team.
Well, I'm going to be honest with you. I fucking love the way he did this.
Yeah.
Because
I like the wide receivers that he stacked up there.
Yeah, not only does he get Devontae Adams, who still is going to be a wide receiver 1, right? Top 10 guy. But he also stacks Smith with Hurts, Cooper with Watson, and then gets Hopkins going to Tennessee, who he's going to eat, and then stacks Goddard with Hurts. And then I honestly feel like, Pacheco, RB, like high-end RB2 numbers this year is what I'm expecting out of him, even if he's not going to catch the ball, right? I don't think he has to catch the ball. I think he showed out enough last year at the end of the year as a rookie running back, and momentum is everything for rookie running backs. And he's carrying that momentum into a fucking Super Bowl also that he played well in. And he's carrying now going into this coming up year. I think he has a really great year. And Rachaad White, like at this point, for him to do what he did in the beginning of the draft and then get into where it's like running backs. Okay, I need high upside. I need guys that have breakout weeks.
Yep.
And I need guys that are going to see volume so that I know I have a potential to get points. Pacheco, White, those are guys are going to see volume just because of who they are in their offenses. There's nobody else around them that's taking shit away from them, from what their spot on that offense is. A-Chain is the high upside guy.
Yep.
There's plenty of weeks where Pacheco and McKinnon, I think I did this in a league, where Pacheco and McKinnon could be your RB1 and RB2 in best ball.
Yeah.
Right? So
as gross as that sounds, but yes.
So I'm okay with that. The Foreman pick I like too, because there's another like, hey, if all these other guys shit the bed or I've got bye weeks, that guy's going to get me fucking 10 points this week. And the Mostert thing, I mean, I think Mostert doesn't even end up on Miami by the end of the year. Like once everything preseason's done and they're going into the year, I don't think he makes the 53 this year. That's just a prediction. He might just because there's nobody else out there, and there he fits with the system and he's known. And then he didn't really even need to draft wide receivers, but I mean he's got to at some point kind of help pick that up a little bit. Oh Jesus Christ! I stepped right over the fact that he also stacked Elijah Moore with Deshaun Watson.
Elijah Moore, yeah.
Imp is fucking full on dead ass invested in the Cleveland Browns and the Philadelphia Eagles this year, at least in this league.
Yeah, all stacked up.
Yeah, I like the Claypool pick, 19th pick, his last pick. I think he has a decent year this year, too.
Goddard and Taysom, so he's really banking that Goddard's going to be most of his tight end work, and then Taysom comes in.
Yeah, when Taysom has those big-ass weeks.
Yep.
Self-eval.
How you looking?
Oh, I mean, I got 2 top 5 wide receivers, 2 guys. Tua wasn't
12 quarterbacks.
Tua wasn't a QB1 last year, a top 12er, but, he plays the games where he didn't smoosh his brain. And he is. Danny Dimes was one last year too, and they didn't improve dramatically around him other than Darren Waller. So, I mean, what are we thinking? QB 9 to QB 15,
Right.
I'll take that right there.
He's got solid rushing upside to keep him there too.
And then as far as for punting running back to the 7th round, I feel really happy about my running back room. Like I got not only guys that are going to be active in catching the ball in Swift and Montgomery and Herbert, just in the offenses they're in, but also guys like
you got goal line backs.
Yeah, Madison's going to see the red zone work. Montgomery's going to see the red zone work. Herbert might not see the red zone work.
He might. I mean, he is pretty elusive. So
yeah, and I mean he might be like the 20 guy, right? But when they're inside the 10-yard line, I don't think he's that dude. That's Foreman. That's Roschon. But that's fine.
Yeah.
And then Harris, of course, that's a gamble because as long as they don't sign anybody, then Harris could very well be a 15 touchdown guy and not even get over 700 yards.
Yep, especially
overall
to try to preserve Josh Allen a little bit more.
Yeah, we keep talking about that till I see it. I'm not going to try to predict it in anything. I see more of Harris being like, he's a dude that if you're giving him the ball from the 15 in, he's got a chance to score. And I think the Bills will be in positions enough like that he could have 4 or 5 touchdowns that are 12, 11-yard runs, and then also any kind of extra goal line work. They do hand the ball off down there. They try to score without Josh Allen being the dude that does it. He just always fucking makes it in. And then I do like where
I like your tight ends. I think that's a good combination.
Yeah, I like it too. If Kittle goes down and it's just McBride, I'm a little bit fucked. And I thought about grabbing a 3rd tight end, but you know what? I'm not going to predict injuries this year. I think Kittle is actually going to have I think the 49er team is a dangerous team this year. They are pissed off. And when you play pissed off, you tend to not get hurt.
Yeah, it's when they're hungry.
Yeah, and
I want to be out there because I want to win.
Yeah, and then I like where I got my depth for my 3rd wide receiver, and what will end up being my flex play 2, and DJ Moore, Cortland Sutton, Odell, Gallup, and then basically just my last 3 picks are guys that they could end up being the wide receiver 1 or the wide receiver 4 on their team.
Yeah,
and I'm okay with that. They're still going to be out there running.
Yeah, it'll depend on injuries too. Like they'll get their chance. They'll get their weeks.
Definitely.
And I think Tannehill this late is nice. It's just a nice solid quarterback in case.
Yeah, maybe a little QB3s and weeks that my other 2 shit the bed, or when Tua gets fucking smooshed again.
All right. So Scooter already came out onto the league chat and said that he had to draft in one of the hardest positions, picking between you and me.
Yeah.
And it changed a lot of his strategy. So
and still, I think, honestly, here you are.
Great job, Scooter.
Yeah, I'm going to say this is the starting roster, right? Not overall whole team, because I'm looking at the whole team, and it's not like the whole team blows me away. But for what he's going to take in every week for his, I think we're starting 9.
Yeah.
Yeah. So the 9 guys he's going to start every week is fucking scary. I like it.
Yeah. So Burrow and Carr. And you go late with anybody? Oh, Baker and Levis. Levis, I'm not worried about. Baker, there's talk that it's going to be another solid season, kind of what he did in the Rams late, like decent, a good week. Good week for him is 2 touchdowns.
I think for your quarterback 3,
That's good.
To have a guy who has Godwin, Evans, Cade Otton, Rashad White at his disposal, that's not a bad pick. That's your quarterback 3, and you got him late as shit
Yeah.
in the 16th round. So like, yeah, well done to back that up. Love Burrow. I don't give a shit about a calf strain. We did talk a little bit prior to this that might lower a little bit of his rushing potential if he's not fully healed by it when the season comes, and maybe he's just a little more hesitant to actually just take the fuck off. But you're still like talking about a guy with the potential to throw over 40 fucking touchdowns, 5,000 yards.
Should be easily locked in for 30 plus touchdowns. So
yeah, like you're not going wrong with Burrow. Like that's the pick you fucking make. I would have made the pick, but I don't have like no Justin Jefferson, and I want, so I took. I love the Barkley pick here in the second round. Like him signing just solidifies that he is a second round solid pick to get this year. Waddle, Allen, Ridley. That's 3 potential wide receiver ones. That's 3 potential wide receiver ones. And if you want to really reality it out, Jalen Waddle is probably definitely a wide receiver 1. Calvin Ridley and Keenan Allen, both those guys are going to need some breaks to go their way. But you're still looking at high-end wide receiver 2s there that are going to be productive week in and week out. And his second running back, like here's where you get a little bit concerned, right? But Barkley should carry the running back room here for him. I like Miles Sanders this year. Sneakily. Carolina has a top 5 running offensive line.
Yeah.
Via PFF. So Miles Sanders just went from Philly, who has the dog, like we're the one, we're kick ass, to just a top
still
5.
Good. It's still great.
So good. And he's with a rookie quarterback. They're gonna run the ball heavily. He's gonna see work. Miles Sanders is a running back too. It's fucking amazing. I will say I don't understand the fucking James Cook hype. Right? I get that like he had good weeks last year, but it's like, what is he really going to continually give you that like boom he's going to make it in your roster, half the weeks?
He's just not a player that I've been excited to watch or see. Like every time I watch him play, I'm just like, okay, so was he better than Singletary? Is he really that much better than Moss? Sure, I guess. All right.
I think he is a great receiving back. But it hasn't been proven that he's going to get that volume to get that. But then again, like things change. Like we can't talk about Damian Harris getting more goal line look because they want to limit Josh Allen, and then not also bring in that they want to limit Josh Allen by making sure he's dumping off the running back. So there's a high potential that James Cook ends up being a good ROI pick, but I don't really know about that.
Yeah.
But people,
and if you're looking at competitions for receptions, bringing in, Shorter, they got in, what's his name? Kincaid.
I was wondering
brain's still in sleep mode here.
Yeah.
But they brought in other players that can take receiving work, especially near the goal line. So it just takes even the more valuable touches away from Cook.
Yeah. Do like the P. Ryan pick here, though, because you'll get good production out of him for the first part of the year. But I do think the more and more you hear about it,
and
the more
it's
you have to think,
committee.
the more you got to think that Javonte is definitely not going to come back and be 100% next year. There'll be spot times when you're going to play him, but P. Ryan probably actually ends up getting the most
a decent amount, yeah.
Yeah, the most work there. I like those ads there, dude. Addison, Sky Moore, Mooney for your fill-in wide receivers. Like those are guys that are
and Ross at the end there.
Oh yeah, I didn't. But I think he got the wrong Ross. Did he?
No, that's just
no.
Ross.
Okay. Oh, I just saw in the chat they were talking shit, and so I thought maybe he grabbed the wrong one. But I think somebody else did. it. Anyway, I actually like the Justin Ross thing with Sky Moore. Like, take your cracks. Like, one of these guys in Kansas City is going to catch the ball that isn't named Travis Kelce, and who the fuck it's going to be is anybody's guess. But I mean, take your shot at it, I guess.
Now, this is something that I don't prefer to do. Some people like to, but he did handcuff his own running back of Sanders with Chuba.
Yeah, that was probably just like, I don't think he maybe meant to do that.
Yeah, that he maybe.
Yeah, that feels like a fucking. I didn't know I had Miles Sanders and was like, Chuba's a good handcuff and just fucking grabbed him. Maybe. I don't know.
We'll find that out.
Yeah, but yeah, running back will be the Achilles heel of this team. but the rest of it
tight end's not super strong. Everett, I like. Irv Smith could have some
for
opportunities.
best ball, I like the grouping that he's got, right?
Yeah.
Because he's in.
I'm interested to see what Gesicki could do.
He's got two guys, and one thing I've noticed out of tight ends in Cincinnati is a trend. If you go back and look at all of them, like Uzama and Hayden Hurst and all those guys, they're all going to give you that low end tight end 10 to tight end 12 numbers in that offense. And so in best ball, I think that's a really good investment because you know that you're going to get weeks where that guy's spiking, and that's what's getting him up to tight end 10 to 12 at the end of the year. And those are, those weeks he'll be your starter. And so getting Everett and Smith in those good high-powered offenses where they're going to catch a touchdown and have 60, in their weeks. And then, Gesicki, I think, and we said it last year or the last couple of years with, what's his fucking face? So it's Hunter Henry and then the dude. Yeah, we can't even remember his name anymore. Oh. That's how far he's fallen. You guys know who we're talking about.
Jonnu Smith.
Jonnu Smith, yeah. And there's always been that whole, Rob Gronkowski, Aaron Hernandez thing. But you know what? Fuck it. I'll keep the train rolling. I think it's the same kind of setup. Hunter Henry is the blocking guy. Gesicki is a very athletic dude. So you could very well see him being utilized in a Y spot, a joker spot. And that just that brings spike weeks. Is it the strongest tight end room in the league? Fuck no. But is the shittiest? Maybe not.
All right. Self-eval time. I really like my team, especially if this was going to be a dynasty.
Garbage. Steve sucks. Kidding.
That would be your breath, sir.
I use charcoal toothpaste, baby. What's up?
Your mouth smells like a barbecue.
Smells like a fire pit.
So I wanted Chase. I figured that he was going to fall to me, so I figured that I was going to be able to get Chase, who we kind of predicted seeing as could be the number one wide receiver in the year.
Yeah.
Wilson having Aaron Rodgers, despite what they had last year, he still did great. So having Aaron Rodgers should be even better.
Yeah.
Olave produced when times that he shouldn't. We were looking at reception perception. The guy just ate, and he ate at every level against every type of coverage. So,
he was fucking destroying people, and Andy Dalton just couldn't throw him the fucking football.
Yeah.
And now you've got Derek Carr out there.
Derek Carr, who loves the deep ball.
Yeah, and that's what I'm talking about. Is Olave is just running behind the safety, and you can see the safety just fucking chasing after Olave. Chasing after Olave, he's fucking Olave's got his fucking $1 million check in his hand because he can't fucking catch him, and Dalton just couldn't fucking hit him. And now you got Derek Carr, who is one of the best deep ball passers in the league. I love getting Olave in the third fucking round like that. Yeah. Start off at wide receiver. That's 3 wide receiver ones right there.
Yeah.
And then to get Rodgers, Wilson stack and pair that with the rushing upside of Rich. We talked about, A-Rich
being 4 point per passing touchdown. So having some rushing upside. And that's what I'm banking on. I'm hoping that it's going to be just solid. I don't need him to have, QB1 numbers. I'm not expecting that. I'm expecting him to be a solid QB2.
But you're going to get those QB1 weeks because of that rushing upside where he finds himself rushing, throwing for 1, running for 2. It's a sloppy-ass fucking ugly game, but he's just stacking up points. You shouldn't rename A-Rich on all your teams the fourth quarter comeback. And he's not going to win games in the real NFL, but, man, I tell you what, there's going to be people watching that late afternoon or that fucking end of the morning games just freaking the fuck out because it's boom, A-Rich for 5, boom, A-Rich for 2, boom, A-Rich for 3. It's fuck!
Busted off a 12-yard run. You're God, no!
Yeah, it's going to eat some shit up.
So looking at the rest of my wide receivers here, you got J-Mo. Once he comes on, he's going to be a big play guy, stretching fields, big yardage. Devontae Parker, Tyquan, they're going to be possession receivers. They're going to get some touchdown looks. They're going to have some big games here and there, but nothing that we're going to really expect, which is why I went that way because I have, big 3 at the top. Those guys are going to be just benchmarked in each week no matter what.
Yeah, there's the slight issue you run into, though, any kind of injury, and you're going to be rough at it. Went a little heavy at running back in here.
Can't predict injury. Well, and that's because I didn't
predict
really
injury, but you also got to fucking leave yourself open.
You gotta put in a little safety blanket there.
Yeah.
But
Yeah, and you've got JMO and New England. But the running backs, you do have really good running backs. So maybe, like you're saying, you got your locked in top 3 there, and you're playing 3 running backs also each week because, one of these other running backs is probably going to be the guy that pops off and sneaks in there for you. Or, maybe one of the tight ends do.
Yeah. And
kind of a rough draft, Adam, honestly, when we stop back and look at it, bud.
Yeah, it's not the best draft. I mean, we also look at kind of what we were talking about before. The left half of this board is great at drafting. Yeah, and I've also got catch on the other side of me too. So always rough being in the middle of the board. I'm not discounting anything that I've done on this team. I still think it's a good team. It'd be fun to watch.
Yeah, I'm not saying you draft a stinker. I'm just saying
it's not a turd fritter.
Yeah, I'm just saying, holy shit. If everything goes right.
It's one of those, as you look at it more, it's not as pretty as it seems.
Yeah, let's say this. Ceiling-wise, nobody may catch you. Ceiling-wise, nobody may catch you. But floor-wise, ouch.
I might not like make league median most weeks.
One injury. Chicken bones. I'm kidding. Okay. Good competitive team build here, bud. Like we said with the running backs, I think that's where you're just evenly balanced between high, badass wide receivers, good fill-in running backs, and I feel like your quarterbacks have a good, safe floor.
All right, let's move on to catch here. Try to speed through these other guys here. We've been taking some time. So starting off with Herbert, getting Bryce Young, Stroud. We've talked about this more you than me, but getting those rookie quarterbacks outside A-Rich, it doesn't feel good.
Neither of these guys is going to be a quarterback 1 this year.
Yeah.
But if all you're looking for is a quarterback 2, and then they're going to fill in between Young and Stroud, who has a better week that week, it's not the worst strategy ever, but you're not going to get a quarterback 1 out of there.
Yeah.
And if they do, it's fucking historic. So, I don't like betting against shit that comes out historic.
I think he had a very solid draft, very balanced, being able to get A.J. Brown, JT, Najee, Judy. It's just good on good. It's a good solid stack. I think this might be another one that's probably beats league median. But the upside is a little more on the limited side.
That's sad. I like where he's got the guys he picked up to be on his bench, like Brian Robinson, Dalton Schultz. Those guys are going to be productive in their offenses.
Yeah.
Bryce Collins, Dell, those kind of things. I get he's stacking with Stroud there, and and then those big weeks that happen. So I do like that. Those are offenses. It's like, how much are you really going to fucking get out of them?
Well, I'm really having to put a lot of his chips on JT and Najee because Brian Robinson, Zeke, and Kareem Hunt is room. So
here's the thing, though. We all know Zeke's going to sign somewhere. Zeke's going to sign somewhere, right? And so I'm not that, he's going to get play out of Zeke. Hunt freaks me out a little bit just because we were talking we haven't heard anything on him.
Nothing. Right? No word at all.
If he does sign somewhere, it's probably going to be because of an injury, and he will go in, and he's going to get work, right? But yeah, this team seems a little bit all over the fucking place, but it could also be one of those ones where we're looking at it right now in end of July, and analyzing it, and we could be looking at this in December and going, wow, didn't fucking see that coming. You know what I mean? So,
which is usually the case with some teams. You just look up, you're like, this is just going to be a medial team, and then he comes in by the end of the year, you're like, oh, I made the playoffs.
Yeah, and then, it's one of those teams where it's at the end of the year, it ends up everybody does what they were supposed to do.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And those teams, they stay consistent, and they just are a pain in the fucking ass when you play them week to week because the guy shows up. It's why is he putting up 20 points again?
All right. Captain Auto Draft started out with 4 running backs in the first 6 rounds. And I can say that I don't feel that it's all that pretty. I think it's rough. It just shows what Auto Draft without setting a really detailed queue. To me, if you're going to Auto Draft, you need to mock the crap out of it and really set a parameter what you want each round.
I'm trying to wrap my brain around this and how the fuck he's even going to put a team together. Because he can only start 3 of the running backs. So he has to start Johnston, Lazard, Campbell, Jefferson, MVS, or Michael Wilson.
Yeah.
Pitts, Bijan. I mean, those guys could be top end at their position. Same with Pollard and Dobbins. I mean, Gibbs could be sneaky this fucking year, depending on how well Detroit does. T-Law, yeah, I like that. Mac Jones. I mean, you could have a bounce back year. Like, this could be a feisty little auto draft team. But just, I think in the end,
other than a couple running backs, I'm really not scared of this team at all. Like, if I'm going against this in a weekly matchup, I'm like, so his upside is possibly hitting league median, but there's not huge potential. I mean, Lockett's got some big potential games.
and I'm going to keep saying it, if you think A-Rich is going to be decent this year, you got to bump Pittman at least to where he's at, right? Has been.
Yeah,
You know what I mean?
I'm not discounting where Pittman's at, but he was wide receiver 2? Yeah, wide receiver 20 last year. I'm not discounting that. I think that's going to be perfectly fine where he was.
Yeah. I mean, I guess I really haven't talked a whole lot of shit about anybody's team yet.
He scored.
I've been
4
pretty
touchdowns,
nice.
So
I've been pretty nice.
pretty nice.
I'll say that, yeah, for an auto draft team, this is the worst team we've got in the league right now in this one. But he's got ability to be a pain in the ass because he has guys that could score some fucking points. It's just at some point it's going to bite him in the ass because of the wide receivers that will end up being his starters. You know, they end up getting slotted in there. That's going to bite him in the ass. But he's fucking pretty much elite in what, 6 spots? 6 out of 9 spots he's got elite talent. That's not that bad for auto drafting. But yeah, if any of you guys, when you watch this, if any of you guys have to auto draft the very last one, just fucking queue up a shit ton of wide receivers and then take the value running backs and quarterbacks that the computer gives you at the end. At least that's what we're seeing.
And that's all the tips we're giving for auto drafters.
Yeah, show up.
Show up.
Fucking work, Ronald. Just, it's draft time. You say, hey, I gotta go take a poop, and it's gonna be an hour long. I'll be right back.
I'm constipated. It's gonna be a while. They'll believe you. You're old.
Yeah. I had Thai food last night and a brick of cheese.
And a prune milkshake for to start the day.
Prune milkshake. That does not sound good at all. Ugh.
All right. Speaking of going, let's go on to the next player.
Yeah. Quickly.
So we got good old Rit here. Starting off with Lamar, some Kirk Cousins. I like that. 4th round, being able to get a top 12 quarterback that could have just some huge passing weeks.
I hate this team. This is the first one I don't like.
I said I liked his quarterbacks.
I don't like his team at all. Because I'm sitting here looking at it like, okay.
He was the one where I was looking at his wide receivers. I was like, I just don't like, Kirk Watson. Like, don't.
I'm looking at it and I'm like, okay, I got to think about what I'm going to say next. And it's like, it's not going to be fucking nice.
So you were nice before
the auto drafter
1 through 6 or 1 through 8 here. Or at 1-9, you could start ripping people.
The auto drafter had 6 guys that are going to be elite starters, in my opinion. Right? Like these are guys that are going to be put high end points for you. Yeah, this team has 4, and then shits the bed. Okay. I'll be a little bit nice about this, though. Watson will have big weeks, and that's great and all, but it's not going to be consistent. But you're going to get the same type of things out of Kirk, out of Davis, out of Flowers, out of Thielen, out of Osborne, and out of Dubs. They're going to have to line up perfect. Like, Watson's big week is going to have to line up perfect with a couple other guys' big weeks. None of these guys are, like, consistent, hey, every 3 weeks I'm putting up a big week, right? So, like, one a month that's going to average that out. Shit the bed on wide receiver here, man. Like, it's a start 3 wide receiver. And you didn't pick your first one until the 6th round.
Which means
not to mention
you're really out of it by then.
Yeah, not to mention that when you're in the 5th round, like if we're looking ahead at, hey, who are guys I'm going to take? Right about there is where I'm deciding, okay, I'm going to take probably Terry McLaurin over Kenneth Walker, assuming maybe one of those guys sneaks back because I let Kenneth Walker get past me. And so one of the guys that picked McLaurin, London, Samuel, they don't pick one of them. And I get a look at London or Samuel. And then if it comes back to me, I'm picking Watson. Now it's like, okay, McLaurin, Watson, those are my wide receivers. Yes, there's a large wide receiver run before it gets back to him again. But even if you look ahead, there's still guys like Mike Evans, Jordan Addison, and you have Kirk Cousins.
Yeah, I think
Brown.
very much with you on that. I think it's picking McLaurin, London, Debo at the 5,
Mm-hmm.
and then coming around, and I'd rather have Pierce over Walker. I think if you left Walker on the board, he could have had Pierce there.
I think you wouldn't even need to worry about getting a running back at that point.
Yeah.
Because you've already got.
You really don't, but yeah.
Yeah, and then now at that point, that's like one round too late to start picking up wide receivers, and that put you one round behind the 8 ball. And sure, you've got a really good running back room going on here with Eckler, Henry, Walker, Penny, Wilson, Josh Kelly, and really fucking.
And you're really banking that Njoku has a big breakout year, which he doesn't have solid numbers on a weekly basis. He has some good games. I guess he was pretty solid at 8s and 9s, but you're really hoping that he has a breakout year because Otton is going to carry you with 6, maybe 10 points a game, and then who knows what Conklin's going to put up?
Nothing.
Right.
Just a fucking blocking tight end there, man. So, Rhett, I'm sorry, man, but you would be the first Turd Fritter Award winner, right?
Turd Fritter Award winner.
Mm-hmm.
All right, Talon. Now, talking about getting some elite guys definitely starts off Kelsey. Did he just completely punt tight end from there? Yeah, all the way to Musgrave.
I wouldn't argue that.
Yeah, I'm not complaining one bit. I mean, you have Kelsey.
I hate this fucking team.
I
hate it because it's good. This is a good team. It's a really good team, honestly. Like, you've got the top
solid running back.
You got the top tight end who's going to score, on average the same amount of points as a top, overall wide receiver 1 through 5.
Yeah.
You got Cooper Kupp, who has all the potential to be a top 5 wide receiver. Higgins and Metcalf, let's just say they go with their medians. Those are middling, high-end wide receiver 2s, yeah.
With some big games here and there.
Goff finished as was on pace the last 6 weeks or some shit like that last year as QB3. So that's a great pick there, plus a little homer because we know he likes the Lions.
Plus he's getting more weapons this year.
Yep. Love that he's got Pierce, Williams, and that he was smart enough to go down in and start grabbing a bunch of guys up. Warren, Spears, Brown, Edwards, these are all guys that are probably going to fill in why Javonte gets better. But also there's plenty of reports that Javonte is going to be ready to go for week 1. Like, he's going to do some training camp stuff. He's not going to play in the preseason, but
Which you don't expect a lot from him, but if you're expecting him to be your running back 2, that's fine.
Exactly.
That's
Exactly. And then I love the Stafford Cup pairing. Like, that's just points on points on points. Like, every time they come out on offense, they're going to get 3 fucking points, even if it's a 3 and out, because they're just going to throw the ball to Cup 3 fucking times. And then I like Murray because if you look at the bye weeks on it too, Goff with bye week of 9, Stafford of 10. Kyler Murray will probably be playing
by then.
He'll be playing by then as a QB with just an ACL. He just won't be running as much. So he'll be able to fill in then, and he's a high-end fucking quarterback with some rushing upside if he's not completely fucking broken.
Now, his late wide receivers, I don't care for as much. Well, the middle 3 here, the Cooks, Mike Thomas, Myers, just not anything that I'm hoping for in those rounds. I feel that he could have gone other places.
I actually like where he went with it, to be honest with you.
Oh,
I could see him maybe, I don't really see where else he's going to go. There's some of these other guys here that got picked prior to him being able to pick them. The dudes around, the wide receivers around where he picked that, they aren't leaps and bounds above where he's at. He probably wanted J-Mo and was hoping he'd fucking come back to him, but he took Murray instead. But I actually like Brandon Cooks this year. I mean, he's going finally into a decent offense with a good quarterback. He's been kind of mired in Houston there for a few years, but he's a 1,000-yard receiver guy. He has that potential on him. Yeah. So for best ball to have him sneak into that top 3, that's not bad, I don't think. Michael Thomas, I've cooled off a shit ton on Michael Thomas because we have no idea what the fuck's going to happen. But if dude comes out and just plays it here and there and is, when Olave can't get open, he's the guy eating up some fucking targets, there's potential for him to have decent weeks. The Myers thing, man, it's hard to get on board with any Las Vegas shit. Yeah. Just because I know a lot of Jimmy Garoppolo.
Even if Adams ends up leaving, which I doubt.
That's not going to fucking happen.
Even if he ends up leaving, it's Renfro and Myers and Mayer, and it's not going to be pretty.
Yeah, that's not going to happen. I do like Mechie late. I've got Mechie late.
That is one receiver I like. That's why I said 3 in the middle there. I like Mechie. I think he's going to have a great bounce back season.
And I like that he tacked Colt McCoy on there. I have a lot of dynasty leagues where I own Colt McCoy from last year when Murray went down,
Yeah.
and I think he's just that good, stable. I'm gonna get 15 fucking points out of this guy if he has a big game. Maybe he cracks my top guys, but he's a great way to, if you're a Murray owner, make it through the waiting period for Murray to come back. And in best ball, like I think that's a great little stack there.
Seeing that he kind of went a little bit later in QB, I mean, 5th round before he picked up one.
Mm-hmm.
Like, it's not a bad thing that he picked up 4, and he's got his Band-Aid for his other quarterback, Murray, if he's not going to be ready.
Yeah, Perch Allen, a pretty smart move as far as rounding out his roster. And hey, fucking hats off. I can't say I don't like this team because I do.
All right. Money's redemption tour.
Yeah, poor guy. He got the old Captain Ron treatment last time, and I think he came through and did a fucking really good job, to be honest with you.
Yeah, he got his 2 wide receivers early.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, got that out of the way. But there you go. You know, again, 2 top 5 wide receivers potentially right there. Bruce Hall coming back with the knee. I think it's going to be a little bit before he comes back. If Cook signs there, that's not a good thing for him at all.
Yeah, I think that just limits him. It doesn't take him out of being a good running back, but it also doesn't force him to be on the field right away.
Yeah, but it also caps the ceiling even towards the end of the year because Cook's going to be there, and you know you got to split that backfield up. ETN freaks me the fuck out too because it's not like he's the best receiving running back, and so it's not like hey, you're getting all the pass catching right. And they drafted Tanks Bigsby in the 3rd round, and there's no ties to the new coaching staff. That could be a fucking issue right there. The running back room for him is a little fucking sketchy.
Yeah, I was just noticing that. I was just going to say, like, he went from having such a dominant one last draft in this auto draft to having, I'd say, probably one of the weaker running back staff on his team this week.
Yeah, I do really like his wide receivers, though. I really do. Hill, Lamb, Debo, Pickens, Juju. Like, these are guys that are all going to get looks in their offense, are all going to be producers. To have your wide receiver 3 going to come down to Debo, Pickens, Juju is a really good spot, I think.
Well, and that's going to be his flex too, because these running backs aren't really going to take over that flex spot.
Yeah, no, they're not. It's going to be flexed out for sure. I like Zay Jones. I don't think he'll do what he did last year, but he will have boom weeks. Same with Pierce and Samuel. And then to tack on like the running backs, like I like the hand, like I'll say the handcuff, but like the fallback. If Josh Jacobs says fuck off, Zamir White's getting run.
Yeah.
When James Conner fucking breaks, Keontae Ingram going to get run. And those guys will have weeks in offenses where they're going to be focal pointed and be able to put up points for you.
Yeah, it's definitely one of those, like right now, it doesn't look so good, but mid-season, it's going to look a lot better.
Yeah, I would wonder what Money's opinion on his team would be. Because
I'm sure it's in our chat, but we haven't got to that because we're breaking their damn teams down.
Yeah. We'll talk shit to you fuckers later.
All right. Space 8s.
Last one.
So picking on the 12 turn, it's always a rough one.
I thought he did a really good job.
I think it's solid.
Yeah, I thought he did a really good job.
Fields, Love, Garoppolo. I think you're just kind of safety netting yourself with Garoppolo here in the 11th, but hoping Love can do something.
Yeah, and Fields he's top end. I think he's going to take a huge leap this year. You got potentially the RB1 overall at 112, and another guy that if they don't sign Zeke or anybody the fuck else is going to get ran dirty. Stevenson's going to get so many fucking looks next year if they don't sign anybody. So those are 2 big ads there. I like that he kind of paired in Gibson with that because I think Gibson has
he's going to have some receiving work to do.
Yeah, he has a real high potential to really show out in the offense with the enemy there.
And Mitchell, Ford, I like and Evans. I mean, I like those.
I like Mitchell on his own, but if I have C-Mac and I'm in a best ball league, I really don't want to get a piece of Mitchell.
Yeah. And that's something we talked about just briefly earlier is not in best ball, not really picking your handcuff.
Yeah. I like that because we are a tight end premium, a 1.5 PPR for tight ends. I like the Hawk and Komet thing there, especially with the Fields pairing there. That leaves room for, if Mike Williams or Burke shits the bed or London's having a bad week, the tight end slips into the flex spot for him. Love the Rondale Moore pick way down here. I mean, who the fuck else are going to throw the ball to?
Michael Arizona's a complete crapshoot behind Hollywood.
Yeah, exactly. And even then, with Hollywood, he could be a fucking duncer, man. He could throw up zeros for you. There's no guarantee he's going to be a badass. I kind of like late in these best ball drafts getting Hyatt, just because there's nobody else in New York.
And this late, you're looking at 4 big play weeks.
Yeah, shit the bed here. I don't know why you would grab 2 New York Giants wide receivers. Pick the one you fucking want and go with it. I do like the tight. I like what he did with tight ends.
Yeah,
I do. Like the likely
even likely that late. I was gonna like poo poo on it, but I can't because I think it's actually pretty decent.
Yeah, that late. I mean, when you're that late, how can you really bitch? Like, you know what I mean?
Now this is something I do want to point out. Like, if you are getting 2 to 3 of a positional player, make sure they don't all have the same bye week.
Yeah,
all 3 of those tight ends have the same bye week.
Ooh, owie.
So you went to grab extra players to load up, but they're all going to be sitting on week 13.
So are all of my wide receivers. Week 13 going to be a bitch round, huh?
Well, and that's different. You've got other players that could play. He has no tight end.
Week 13 going to be a bitch.
Yeah. And that's why we have Mike not sing. Another draft in the books.
Not bad at all.
Yeah.
This draft, I mean, every draft has its own ebbs and flows, and
that's why we like these guys drafting with us. Is they're all pretty solid.
Yeah, it's your own little monster. This draft though was tough if you were 1 through 6.
Yeah,
because like we were saying, there's a lot of the guys that we draft with that we know are really good drafters got kind of stuck in there with us, and that was a fight of a draft.
Yeah,
it really was a fight of a draft.
I gotta say it was a lot more fun after than during, because that was a little more stressful during, because you're like, I want that. Oh, and he's off. Oh, this guy's gonna cut. Nope, he's not gonna make that turn.
Over here bullshitting, and then you look back and you're like, my queue's empty. Fuck.
All right, I auto drafted James Conner.
Yeah. All right, so yeah, we got one more of these coming up in 2 weeks. Is probably what we're aiming for right now. We'll see if everybody can fill in and get that. We'll also probably be going back through and looking at the first, second, and third drafts we did, comparing it to the fourth, because that's where we had the time breakout. We'll get some ADP updates. Tony already had a couple for you that you guys can see as movers that are happening right now. Keep all that shit in mind, you guys. And I'm telling you right now, if you have any ability to get on Underdog, you can actually still see their ADPs. So if you're somewhere in a position where you can get on there and just look at it, you can't gamble on it like that, but you can look at it. Stay sharp on ADPs because it is redraft time.
Yeah.
By the time we come back, what are we, 7/28? So by the time you're back to work, it'll be the last day of July, and baby August is redraft drafting month. So start getting ready for that kind of shit. Come meet up with us. Make sure you hit our subscribe button. Make sure you're getting all the notifications. Make sure to like the video if you like what we had to say today. I know it's a long one, and maybe we don't say enough good shit, and you don't want to like it. That's fucking fine, too. But do us a favor. Just touch the damn thing. Makes a thumbs up right there, just like that. So if you've been here through this whole time with us, be like water, my friends, and we will see you on the next video, which is going to be the ones, because we are starting to stake our fucking claims. Tony, walk us out of here the rest of the way, bud.
Doses.